It's my pleasure to announce that the membership has selected Jacksonville as the 30th NFL club.
Is over. There isn't a better football facility in America than Jacksonville Memorial Stadium. The refurbished Gator Bowl is today. The Jaguars play their first NFL game against the Houston Oilers. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Don Criqui with Beasley Reese. Never seen a better facility or a more exuberant crowd. But sometimes, Beasley, too much emotion can hurt a young team.
Well, Tom Coughlin is concerned about that. These players know that they are part of history, and 73,000 people will remind them today, you might make mistakes if you get too excited.
All week long, they've been letting the good times roll here in Jacksonville, welcoming this new team. The focal point of the ball club right now is the quarterback, Steve Berline, who in 40 previous NFL starts does have a winning record.
He's done a great job and a great job here. He's one of the team leaders. He's got two concerns, one being blitz pickup. His team gave up a lot of sacks last week. The other, consistency. He's been very consistent.
And he has some good young receivers to throw to, including Desmond Howard, the former Heisman Trophy winner out of Michigan, who struggled his first 3 years at Washington, but he's coming of age.
He came from Washington with some baggage. People wondering, questioning his worth ethic, but the Jacksonville coaches have seen none of that. They are so happy with his performance. He's gotten a lot of help from three-time All-Pro Ernest Givens, who's here now. Ernest told him to put the Heisman Trophy on the shelf, let it collect dust and do your job, and Desmond has done that.
You're never sure what quite to expect from the Houston Oilers. 2 years ago, they had the best record in the NFL. Last season, they had the worst. They had no offense whatsoever. So they threw the whole thing out, such as it was, and started over.
They got a new offensive coordinator in Jerry Rome, new quarterback in Chris Chandler, new center in Mark Stepnoski, the all-pro center from the Dallas Cowboys. He's there now. He's done a great job. So the question is, which team will show up? Will it be the one that looks great in practice or the one that goes into games and blows it? Jerry Rome is concerned about that. He's hoping that they play the way they practice.
We're just about set to go. The Houston Oilers have won the toss they'll receive to start the game and back. Awaiting the kickoff of Mike Hollis, the rookie, is one of the great return men in recent years in the NFL. Mel Gray is back for the Oilers. He's to the left of your screen. They'll try to kick away from him. But Mel Gray comes over to the near side, fields the ball, and starts from the 3. Gray takes it out to the 22-yard line. Good special teams coverage by the Jaguars. And they are set to go on offense, first down and 10. Their first series ever in the regular season. They play on a natural grass field here in Jacksonville, a perfect playing surface. As you look at the Oilers' front line, it's one of the best. Matthews, a 7-time All-Pro player, moving to left guard, with Stepnoski coming in from Dallas to play center. David Williams at top right tackle. Chandler is in at quarterback. This is his 5th NFL team in the last 7 years. Extra wide receiver will be Chris Sanders from Ohio State. Joining Jeffries. Now, quick out, and the ball is swung out and completed to Frank Wycheck, who turns it upfield and gets across the 30 out to the 32-yard line. As the stop on the play was made by right cornerback Mickey Washington. Here's the front 7 of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kelvin Pritchett's been a standout, comes in from the Lions, had a very good preseason. Jeff Lagerman's been very good at right end, the former New York Jet. Linebackers are described as adequate. Jogani is in from Buffalo, then the Williams, no relation at either side. Secondary, all experienced, none a standout in previous years in the NFL. They'll be tested. They go to the run. And with the ball is Gary Brown, and he takes it ahead on 2nd and short and gets ahead for what looks to be enough for a first down. As you know, Beasley, these Oilers want to pound the ball and take the crowd out of the game.
Gary Brown is the key. Now, this is a young man who had a great year a couple of years ago. He came back, was very disappointed with his play last year. You know, Don, I think he had to learn how to be a professional, learn how to be a star, learn how to expect the offensive coordinator to come to him and say, okay, Gary, go win the game. That's what he's got to do.
First down and 10. Chandler A very experienced play caller out of the University of Washington. He's big, 6'4", 225 pounds. It's the connection, a big play by Chandler as he swings it out. Coming out of the backfield was Todd McNair. And he gets the ball out close to midfield. So Mike Dumas coming to make the stop, but these guys are tough to stop in this opening drive easily.
Excellent play fake by the quarterback. It's man-for-man coverage, and Al's really just a good catch there, outrunning everybody. Look at Lagerman with the pressure. That's what he's got to do, punish the quarterback every time he throws it. They caught him in man-for-man coverage. Good route by the tight end.
That brings up first down and 10 as the Oilers are moving the ball early in the game. Here is a handoff again. Gary Brown runs the ball on a power slant. He takes it out to midfield. And so the Oilers' plan to run the ball with their good offensive line seems to be working early. The front four of the Jacksonville defense was the strength of this team in the preseason.
You know, they really were. That's what they're excited about it. They got some guys really moving around. They got free agents coming in there. Jeff Lagerman, obviously the key. You know, he's a star coming in here from the Jets. So they're excited about their front four. They'll have to get a lot of business work out of those guys.
Derek Russell goes wide to the right, to the top of your screen. On second down and a long two. Back to the run again. Gary Brown diving ahead. He gets to the Jaguars' 45-yard line and appears to have a first down for Houston.
Jeff Fisher, the coach of the Oilers, told us that that's what they've got to do. If they can establish the run, then they can open up the entire book of offense that they've brought in here. And they've got some special things planned. So with Gary Brown in the offensive line, and this is one of the best offensive lines in the league, this Houston offensive line. Right now, this should be a good game, a good offensive game for Houston.
Oilers still with a lot of personnel that took them to the playoffs 7 straight years prior to last season when that playoff streak ended. They keep it alive with a third first down in this opening drive, and again they go back to Gary Brown, a 235-pound back from Penn State. And you look at what the Oilers consider the keys to this game being.
Yeah, here's what they say, Don, is very important. They've got to convert on third. Stupid penalties, and from veterans in the offensive line, no less. One of the best offensive lines out there. A lot of jumping off sides, and they've got to play, like I talked about earlier, they've got to play like they practice.
Well, when the coaches talk about the fact that they don't know what to expect when the Oilers take the field, you know that there's a great deal of uncertainty, but right now they're blocking, zone blocking, just blasting the Jaguars front off the ball in this opening drive as we come now to second down and 7. Right back to the money play, and Gary Brown makes the biggest gainer of this day as he's down inside the 25-yard line, down to the 21. So the Oilers wanted to take the crowd out of the game early and establish control with the run game, and they're doing that.
That's exactly what they're doing. Look at the blocking here. It's reach blocking by the offensive line. A gaping hole for Brown to run through. Excellent open field vision. He's a big man, 245 pounds, and carries everybody down. That's great blocking and great running, and he gets a break.
And now the Oilers, who last year lost 7 of their 14 games by 3 points or less, are well within field goal range, but they want more as they have it first down and 10 at the 21. Jacksonville crowd really kicking in, back to the power run, and again they break it. This time it's the rookie from Texas A&M, Rodney Thomas, with great breakaway speed, breaking it inside the 15-yard line and down to the 13.
You know, they told us this guy would get a lot of work, and you'll see him coming right at you right here. Covered up the ball in the beginning, and then just running through one tackle, and then finally somebody puts a shoulder on him. He tries to run through that one. You can't arm tackle a good player like that.
Rodney Thomas, you see his numbers at A&M. He was a terrific back. Now they say they have a better one there in McElroy. Second down and 2 for the Oilers. Opening drive inside the 15-yard line of Jacksonville. More of the same, but this time the linebackers shoot the gap and come in hitting. Jeff Lagerman, the right end, was the lead tackler on the play. Gogenius, the middle linebacker, was right behind him. And the ball will be spotted at about the 13-yard line. Actually, a loss of maybe a yard on the play. Third down and over 2.
And this is the area in the field where having a guy like Chris Chandler with 8 years in the league really comes in handy. He's not going to make a mistake. If he tries to throw it and it's not there, he'll throw it up in the stands. He'll make solid decisions.
That's what they like about him. Right from the first day of practice, he ran the team very well. Put ball, straight ahead power dive, and Gary Brown takes it down close to the 10-yard line. On third down, he might have enough for a first down.
Now that's a real good job by the defensive line this time of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Lagerman, Davey, Pritchard, Smingy, those guys really stuffed the line of scrimmage that time. The linebackers, Manis, and those guys are really stepping up now.
So yet another first down for Houston.
Here's a good look at it. You see the guys plugging the holes, actually pushing the offensive lineman, Don Davey there, number 92, pushing the guy working against him back into the hole.
And again, with a power set, double tight ends, the Oilers go to the run, and they take it with Gary Brown carrying down to the 5-yard line, where free safety Mike Dumas of the Jaguars makes the stop.
And this will come right in your living room. Look at the reach blocking. That super job by Mark Stevnoski cutting off his man. You see people coming up to finish off the play, but that play started with number 53, the center, sealing off on the inside.
So it is 2nd down and 5 for first down. 2nd down and 5.5 yards for a touchdown. Opening drive. Oilers with a power run game, taking it right at Jacksonville. And again they go to Brown. This time the Jaguars hit hard. Gogenius, the middle linebacker, was also on the stop.
Now that was a good step into the hole by number 54 and number 94. 94 is Kelvin Pritchard. 54 is Keith Gogenius. These guys are very active. It's time. It's time. They're knocking on the door.
New package comes in here, Beasley. Extra defenders coming in for the Jaguars. Goal line defense.
Well, they're reacting to the 4 wide receivers who are in for Houston.
Now they bring him in tight. There's just 1 wide out. 2 are flexed out. 3 yards to the left. On third down, Chandler stands in, lofts it to an open man. Haywood Jeffries in the end zone. And the Oilers, apparently Beasley, finally play like they practice. Right down the field, a thing of beauty. As everything in their offense work, and they take a 6-0 lead with the extra point coming up.
Well, the Jacksonville fans don't like that, but the fact is they're finally, like you said, playing the way they, I mean, in practice they look like world beaters, and the coach just couldn't figure it out. Well, here they are stepping up with a great drive. You know, that is a very difficult set of patterns to cover. You know, when you take a look at it, when all those guys are bunched up in the middle like that, the quarterback has created traffic problems. That's why you see Hayward, the great all-pro, all by himself in the corner.
Al Del Greco, who had a great season a year ago, ready to try the point after try. Good long-range kicker. Snap and set down are good, and the extra point is up. And the Oilers extend their lead to 7-0. And so, with the NFL on NBC moving right along on opening day, the touchdown throw from Chandler to Jeffries, and the Oilers kickoff is coming up. And this is Don Criqui with Beasley Reese back at Jacksonville, Florida, where the Oilers did indeed work their game plan and take the crowd out of the game as Haywood Jeffries, a rejuvenated player in this new offense under coordinator Jerry Rome, is on the payoff end of Chandler's throw from 3 yards out, culminating a 78-yard 13-play drive.
You know, they say Hayward was excited about learning a new offense. This offense is very precise. In the old run and shoot, he had more freedom, so he is like a new guy.
And now the kickoff hit downfield. Emmitt Smith has the ball for the Jaguars, and he takes it out close to the 26-yard line, where he's taken down. And now, for the first time in regular season play, the Jaguars offense comes out as you watch the NFL on NBC.
Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
A bright sunny day in North Florida. Jacksonville's Municipal Stadium sold out with 73,000 strong on the nearby St. Johns River. As you look at the bridge spanning that, it's sold out for the next 3 years. The new owner, Wayne Weaver, got involved in '91 and said the passion of this community for football from the minute he got involved, he's actually out of Connecticut, was just unbelievable. Standing ovations for this team when they came on the field in preseason games, and even a standing ovation after they lost to the Rams. They did win 2 preseason games, and as their offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride says, Beasley, he thinks these players feel they can win today. But off that opening drive, Houston looks very formidable as a quick out pattern on the first play is off the hands of the ex-Oiler Ernest Gibbons.
Now, one thing you'll notice is that you'll see a lot of formations from this team.
And here is the offensive line for the Jaguars. Dave Weidel, former Denver Bronco at center. Brian DeMarco, the second-round draft choice at right tackle. He started all 5 preseason games. Lachey Maston, a former Oiler, in the backfield to block for James Stewart. He's a rookie from Tennessee and a terrific player. Rich Griffith is the starting tight end, and he had 13 receptions to lead the team in the preseason. And he wasn't the starter. Derek Brown was. He's out with an injury. James Stewart, the 225-pound back from Tennessee, who has good speed in addition to size, takes it ahead and gets it to the 26-yard line, or 31-yard line, a gain of 4. Anthony Cook at left end's a rookie. Ray Childress is a 5-time Pro Bowl player. Glenn Montgomery at right tackle and Henry Ford at right end. Good linebackers led by the leading tackler Al Smith and Michael Barrow. And Dishman and Lewis top cornerbacks. Bishop at strong safety. Not that big, but he is a big hitter, strong enough to play up on the tight end. 3rd down, and the Jags need a long 5. Berline gets some time and makes a good throw in the flat. It's a first down out to the 41-yard line. This time Givens coming to the near side. Beasley beats the corner. Chris Dishman, his old pal.
Oh boy, you're going to see a lot of talking and jabbering between those two guys. They played together for years. This is a great throw, good recognition. This is like playing against your brother or your cousin. And he gets the first, does Mr. Givens. He gets the first bragging right in this football game.
Yeah, he said they'd be chatting all day, those. And that gives the Jaguars a first down out to the 41-yard line. They trail the Oilers 7-0 first quarter. Berline gives off, and here is Stewart, who ran so well in the preseason, busting into the Oiler defense and taking it ahead for a 9-yard gain, maybe almost 10, out to the midfield line, stopped by Eddie Robinson.
Now, one thing you'll notice, you'll see a lot of different formations. This is the 5th formation I've noticed. That's a good seal-off block on the right, and James Stewart has had a great preseason. He's got great vision. You know, this guy stays healthy, he's going to be really good. I mean, a special type of runner. Keep watching.
All the veteran Oilers talk about Stewart, the ability he has. He's going to get a lot of work today. Lachey Maston moving up to block now on the left flank. Wing-back left, 2nd down and short. Double tight ends. Back to James Stewart behind Maston's block. Stewart's ahead to the 49-yard line of the Oilers and looks like he might have a first down as Al Smith, the middle backer, makes the stop.
Now, one thing that we haven't seen all year is the 46 defense from Houston. They're not running it yet, but I guarantee you, if Stewart keeps running, if they keep this drive going, he almost lost it there. If they keep this drive going, I wouldn't be surprised to see them revert back to what they really know, and that's the 46.
And that's, of course, a very important drive for the Jaguars as they look to respond to that opening drive of Houston when the Oilers took the kickoff and followed with a 13-play, 78-yard drive. Chandler to Jeffries on the payoff end from 3 yards out for the first score of the game. 7-0 Oilers. Berline on first down, and the play is whistled dead as Johnny Greer, the referee, throws a flag.
66, offense. Still first down.
Sean Bowens, the left guard, moved early. And this hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt, and like you said, Don, this is a very important series. I mean, for this team to come out in their first ever game and to sustain a drive, you know, if they had gone 3 plays and punt after Houston just took the ball and drove it down their face right into the end zone, it would have been demoralizing. So this is an excellent start for the Jaguars.
Berline, who had a quarterback rating of over 100 in the preseason, working the offense now with 3 wide receivers on 1st and 15. Here comes the rush, and he goes to a draw play, and Stewart gets back the lost yardage and gets it back to the Oilers' 49-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Good play call. Oilers an all-out rush.
It really was a good play call, and they brought in an extra wide receiver, once again faking like they're going to pass the ball. Just didn't quite get away.
Kevin Gilbride, the longtime offensive coordinator for the Oilers when they had the #1 offense in the NFL, now running the offense with Jacksonville. No run and shoot here, but a lot of run and shoot principles, a lot of crossing patterns from his wide receivers, and again he coaches Ernest Givens, who was so terrific for Houston. Berline stands in, quick timing throw, and he gets it off high to Givens as they again run that out pattern near sideline.
Now, you know what? That's the wisdom of Steve Berline. Dishman was in great position, so he didn't dare. This guy's an all-pro Dishman. He didn't dare throw it in there. He threw it over his head and out of bounds. That's the reason he's starting at quarterback.
Yeah, they look might be going to a lot, though, as Stewart is off to a good start running.
Stewart has carried the ball 4 times. He's got 20 yards already. You are watching a star in the making in James Stewart.
Everybody raved about him when he came out of Tennessee. He was a slow starter in camp, and all of a sudden he got it and has really been outstanding. Ran so well in a preseason win against Denver a week ago. On 3rd down and 10, here's a blitz. Burline sidesteps it, goes to an open man, and it skips off the fingers of his receiver as Desmond Howard went high. Burline doing a good job escaping a quarterback blitz.
Steve's a little upset with himself after that one because there was an opportunity now. He was a little flustered in the pocket. You see the game. The linebacker started on one side and came all the way across and flushed him out. So he had to just kind of yank it up there. There's another angle. Desmond Howard's only about 5'10". He goes up as high as he could possibly go. Couldn't bring it down.
Brian Barker punts the ball for Jacksonville. He had a big preseason, and Mel Gray, the all-pro player from Detroit, who signed as a free agent, makes the fair catch at about the 13-yard line. When we come back, the Oilers will be back on offense on NBC. Warm and sunny and sold out in Jacksonville, Florida. The Budweiser blimp is joining up above today from Jacksonville. Bud One travels the country as the ambassador for Anheuser-Busch, an aerial ambassador. Here are some pictures from on high as the Oilers, who were the lowest scoring team in the NFL last year, in fact had 98 fewer points than the second lowest, moved the ball well the first time, and now Chandler swings it out and unable to take the ball in is Gary Brown as it comes in high, and Chandler is leveled as he released the ball.
Well, the Jaguar defense, as we see Chandler getting up slowly, needs to play some tough football right now.
They just did.
Well, yes, they did. Gary Brown's got 45 yards rushing already, Don. The quarterback is 3 for 3 for 24 yards, so they need to upset something.
They got him from behind, Jeff Lageman. Chandler had problems with his ankle last year and appears to be over them. I'll tell you, Bill Walsh, who's the quarterback guru, he raves about Chandler as a pro player. He said if he stays in one offense with one team, he could be as good as anybody out there. Gary Brown runs the ball wide. He's taken down at the 15-yard line, a 2nd down and 10 play, and all of a sudden, the Jaguars tighten up on defense. That's Will Fuhrer, the backup quarterback, a left-hander who's been in this offense in the past. Under Jerry Rome, he's out of Virginia Tech. Of course, the most celebrated quarterback on the Oilers roster is the rookie, Steve McNair, who wears number 9. The rookie out of Elkhorn State, the $28 million man, but he's not expected to play. They're going to bring him along and teach him pro football week to week and make sure he's real ready when they put him in there. He's the quarterback of the future. Right now, the veteran Chandler stands in. Here comes another big rush, and again they get him.
Yeah, but I think Lageman was offside that time. If he wasn't, he got one heck of a jump.
Yes, he did. Johnny Greer gives the signal against Jacksonville, so it appears to be Lageman who emerged as the leader of this team.
Look at Jeff. He's already in stride right as the ball is snapped, and he is coming off the ball. And like you said, Don, he's the guy that the defense looks to. I mean, he's a veteran. He's been around. He's made some big plays in the past. 7 years in the league, and he's trying to assert himself. Just got off the ball a little too quickly.
Oilers with 6 first downs and the only touchdown in the game so far. They lead 7-0. 3rd down and 3 with a split receiver formation, 4 wideouts in the game. And they go to a draw play. And it's good for first down yardage as the carry by Rodney Thomas, the rookie from A&M, takes it close to the 24-yard line. Lageman was on the stop. Lageman, we talked to him yesterday about the supposed tough regimen of Coach Tom Coughlin of the Jaguars. He said, hey, he did it the right way. This is a new team. This isn't just some new players. This is a new team. And he set the pace in training camp.
Look at the big guy with the little swim move, then recognizes that the play is going back inside. He dives back inside and actually tackles Rodney Thomas after taking an outside charge. That shows, you know, great hustle. The guy's a great player.
He is. He's had a lot of injury problems. Beat Brad Hopkins, the left tackle, on the play. So again, we have a first down with just 39 seconds to play in the first quarter. And there's a timeout. The NFL on NBC continues after this pause. There is Steve McNair, who was drafted in the first round by the Oilers, a number 3 pick overall out of Elkhorn State, where he set about every passing record known to man. Was under a heavy blitz from Buddy Ryan in a preseason game. It set him back somewhat. So they're going to inch him along because they think he's going to be great one day, and he's picking up more every day. Learning the Oilers system. Here is a swing pass over the middle. Derek Russell, who Chandler was raving about in our meeting yesterday, is a big, strong receiver. And Chandler was banged up again. He's staying in the game.
Chandler's looking over at the sideline. He banged his hand just a little bit. See if we can catch it.
He's coming out. He's going to come out. He might have hit a helmet. He didn't do anything.
He did nothing. You know, maybe he hurt at the play before that and is just trying to stay in.
It was his ankle that bothered him early when he was sacked by Loggeman. But apparently whatever it is, it's enough to take him out of the game.
No, I think he's all right. He's just tall.
That will do it for the first quarter of play with the Oilers in the lead 7-0. Quarterback Chris Chandler of the Houston Oilers took himself out of the game. Apparently, Beasley, a little neck stinger there, and Will Fuhrer's come on to quarterback the team. And now Chandler's right back in. Fuhrer came out, and Chandler then took the field, so he's okay to start the second quarter. He's played very well, hitting 4 of 5 passes for 38 yards. A reverse, the fastest Oiler, Travis Hanna, turning upfield. And good defensive play as Mickey Washington, another former Aggie from Texas A&M at right corner, who played most recently for the Buffalo Bills, comes over and hits number 82.
Well, number one, we know that Chandler's okay because the coaches call a play that requires that he blocks. Look at Chandler out in front out here, and actually he doesn't block anybody, but he does get in the way. And they wouldn't call that if the guy was hurt. Here's a great look at it. Gary Brown making the handoff. And at the end of it, number 25, Mickey Washington, who actually stayed at home, did his job, keeps him from gaining very much yardage.
He got about 5. Oilers with second down and 5. Again, they go to Gary Brown as he's hit behind the line of scrimmage and then knocked down as he throws ahead for a gain of about 3. Now, while we have a moment, let's go to the NFL on NBC in New York and to Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Don, at Indianapolis, couple of ex-NFC guys hook up. Craig Erickson, 16 yards to Flipper Anderson to cap a 78-yard drive. They're at the tail end of the first quarter. It's a 7-3 Colts lead over the Bengals. Let's go back to Don and Beasley.
Thank you, Greg. As we are now early in the second quarter, 13:55 to play in it. Oilers holding to a 7-0 lead, and they have the ball. Third down and short. Third down and just about 2. They go to the run. Another good play behind the line of scrimmage, but the ball carrier, Rodney Thomas, dives ahead if the play goes, but there's a signal against the Oilers. Referee Johnny Greer threw the yellow flag. Here's head coach Jeff Fisher, a defensive specialist, played for Buddy Ryan in Chicago, that championship defense, and his counterpart Tom Coughlin, the man who had the tough rules in training camp, but you talk to his players and everybody has the same assessment. Very demanding, very fair.
Very fair. Talking to him about his rules, I fell in love with every one of them.
Yeah. Well, explain his concentration rule, and makes a lot of sense, keeping your feet on the floor and looking at the coach when he's talking. People who don't do it, he said, I'm missing the point. They're going to hurt you in the game. Here's an out pattern to Travis Hanna. And he's ahead for a gain of about 12 yards on the play and a first down.
Travis Hanna excited about this one. Here's a great look at his pattern. Nice lean forward. Watch him shut down. No wasted movement in the cut. The defensive back making a good drive on it, but that's a perfect play. Now Chandler throwing the ball here, and once again, he's kind of protecting the shoulder, wincing. Look at him bending over, holding something. There is something wrong with Chris Chandler.
Yeah, he's playing with it, no question, an aggravated injury. But he's hanging right in and moving the team. That leads the game 7-0 over Jacksonville. Again, they go to Gary Brown. This time, the Jaguars are reading Gary Brown all the way. Gogenius, the middle linebacker, 54, comes in and fills the gap, makes the stop.
Well, that was a beautiful set of attacks by the defense led by Gogenius. You know, you love it anytime you see 4 and 5 guys on the tackle. That was super defense. You know, Jacksonville has got to get the fans back in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Houston was worried about. They actually got earplugs and all kind of expecting these crowds to be making it hard to call plays. And right now, the crowd has been pretty quiet.
Well, they talked about running the ball, taking it down the field, and scoring first. They did all of that, and they have taken the crowd out at this point. At second down, a pass over the middle, incomplete. As James Thornton, a tight end, another former Chicago Bear who's spent time various stops around the league, can't hold the ball. Well, there's not much for tight ends. There'd be no tight ends a few years ago.
No, they didn't want anything to do with a tight end a few years ago. Now they got a bunch of them on the roster. And at some formations, you'll see 3 tight ends in the game at once. There's Kevin Gilbride. He's the one who never had a tight end. And of course, he gained more yards than anybody else a couple of years, so you can't say anything about his job.
Now we have third down coming out. And the Oilers need 11 from their 49-yard line. Fumble ball. Chandler gets a good hop, picks it up, makes the throw in the connection, but it'll be way short of a first down. As Todd McNair, who figured prominently in the Houston game plan when we talked to their coaches yesterday, does get the swing pass out of a wing-back position, but he's quickly taken down on the play by Vinnie Clark and Dave Thomas of the Jaguars.
Well, it was a great job by Chandler to be calm and collected enough to pick up that ball and throw it. I mean, the whole timing was off.
Vinnie Clark, who was in on the tackle, appears to be shaken up. Stopping the clock with 11:52 to go in the first half. There have been no turnovers in this game, which is interesting as we watch the replay of that hit. Todd McNair going down after a gain of only about 4 yards, bringing up 4th down and 8. Last 2 years, as you know, Beasley, the Oilers led the NFL in turnovers. They had 42 turnovers last year. They were worse in '93 when they had 45, but somehow in '93 they overcame that. They have the best record in the league.
That's odd. Normally, if you unless you win the takeaway giveaway war dramatically, you normally have a difficult season, but they had so much offense that they were able to overcome everything.
Then last year it all came a cropper. The Oilers had virtually no offense. They got rid of the run and shoot, and what they came up with was nothing. Desmond Howard now is back deep, ready to return the punt, the first punt of the game. Rich Camarillo, who's been a 3-time Pro Bowl punter in the NFL, and now there's movement in the Oilers blocking front. We'll see what the call is against. Penalty markers down again.
Well, this could be ugly. If it was against Jacksonville, it might give them a first down.
John Henry Mills, one of the blockers.
Neutral zone infraction against the defense.
It is against the defense.
Still 4th down.
They were 4th and 8, so it'll make it 4th and 3.
I looked at the marker wrong. It was 4th and 8.
So they'll still punt it. They obviously had a kick block on there, Beasley. Or an attempted one.
4th and 3 Oilers at the Jaguar 42.
So Camarillo now steps up to his 42-yard line. He hits a high punt, well placed. It'll carry down inside the 5, and it does not go in. Takes an Oiler bounce, and it's down to the 7-yard line. Excellent special teams play. And Ansky Hall from Alabama came down and covered the kick. Jaguars have it, but the long field to go. With Beasley Reese, this is Don Criqui back at Jacksonville, Florida. Sold out Coach Tom Coughlin, a demanding coach. We asked him yesterday how he'd assess himself. He said demanding, and here are some of his keys to victory: maintaining composure, and above all, handling the Houston blitz, which so far hasn't been coming a lot.
No, they haven't needed it. Limit the sacks and turnovers. They had a lot of them last week, and keep the ball, kick the ball away from Mel Gray.
James Stewart, who ran so well early in the game for Jacksonville, is out with a shoulder injury. He's expected back. He bruised his shoulder. So Reggie Cobb, a veteran, runs the ball and takes it out to the 12-yard line. As James Stewart, he's taped up and ready to go shortly. He was very effective while he was in there, the rookie from Tennessee. First down carry by Reggie Cobb was good for 5 yards. It's 2nd down and 5. Oilers lead the game in the second quarter 7-0. Verline with a good drop, stands in, eludes the rush, but not for long, and they get him back at the 10. So Verline held on, and Anthony Cook, who is a vaunted player from South Carolina State, a rookie, their number 2 draft choice of Houston, gets his first NFL sack.
You know, Cook is playing under a lot of strain. His brother died 3 days ago of cancer, and not very long ago, Donnie lost his father to a heart attack. I mean, so he goes home tonight to the family, to be with the family, but he's playing well out here today.
Yes, as Jeff Fisher said, he's a tremendous kid. He wanted to dedicate playing today to his brother. He's played brilliantly as a rookie, as now Verline under pressure in his end zone releases the ball but overshoots Cedric Tillman as the Oilers are generating a big rush, and now the Jaguars have to punt from deep in their own end.
Well, duress is an understatement. It's like a jailbreak. I mean, everybody's flying in there. Michael Barrow broke clean. Henry Ford broke clean. We're lucky not to have a bad situation there.
And that positions Brian Barker in his end zone to punt. He'll hit it from somewhere around the goal line, and the tremendous punt returner Mel Gray is back. The punt into the wind, angles out of bounds on the Jaguars side of the field.
Well, they kicked it away from him, Don. They didn't want him to touch that.
But kicking out of bounds, Houston's going to have some real nice position as the NFL and NBC continues. Temperature in the 80s, clear and sunny, just like they like it in Jacksonville, Florida. But the Oilers, who said our success will depend on our ability to run the ball, have done that. They've dominated time of possession, as you see, and they have the ball now to start a new drive, leading 7-0 in the second quarter. 9:51 to play in the half. Handoff. Fake handoff. Long ball downfield. And good coverage by the deep backs. Haywood Jeffries running a fly. But it's a long out. It'll be 2nd down, and we go back to Greg in New York.
All right, Don, and we take you back to Indy. Jeff Blake, a 3-yard touchdown pass to Carl Pickens. The Bengals have come from behind and grabbed the lead on Indianapolis. It's now 10-7 Cincinnati in the second quarter. Let's go back to Jacksonville.
Interesting development there.
Oh, that's going to be quite a game. Indianapolis is very interesting with Flipper and Marshall, and Cincinnati's looking good despite losing to John.
A handoff goes to Gary Brown as he turns it upfield, gets inside the 45-yard line down to the 42. Jeff Fisher has said it comes down to this. The success of this Oiler team will depend greatly on our ability to run the ball and control it, and they've done that. Lageman was on the staff along with Dumas.
Houston's got the 66 yards rushing to Jacksonville's 23, and so everything's working according to the Oiler plan right now. Jacksonville's got to do something to get their crowd into it. That was their big advantage. 73,000 making noise, and it's not happening.
Chandler takes a drop on 3rd and 7. Here comes the rush, and Chandler's hit as he throws. Ball comes in low, and let's see what the ruling is.
Yeah, they moved up to it as a catch.
Chris Sanders, the rookie from Ohio State, came up with the ball, but did he get it on a one hop?
No, one ref moved up to the spot. The other ref waved it off. Was not a catch. And
tough call.
Hard to tell. The Jacksonville defenders had no problem making the call.
No, they waved it off. And they were heard. And that sends Desmond Howard back to return the punt. Rich Camarillo punted, and he did a brilliant job of placing the ball inside the 10. You'll recall his first punt of the game a short time ago was downed at the 7-yard line.
Don, the longer the Houston Oilers allow Jacksonville to stay just 7 points away, the more dangerous the Big Cat will become.
There's another penalty.
Offense.
That could improve the field position of the Jacksonville Jaguars, as Houston will be set back 5 yards. Kevin Gilbride talked about hanging in, and this team is well conditioned, and they think they might be able to do something and win it in the 4th quarter.
Well, they won a couple of games in preseason. Right at the end. So, you know, he was telling us that they believe they can win if they keep it close. His players believe it. And that's what counts. If they can be close at the end, this team thinks that they can pull it off.
Camarillo standing back at his 44-yard line. The punt hit high. Desmond Howard lets it bounce again. It goes into the end zone for a touchback, but the Oiler coverage almost got it again to down it inside the 5 this time. It just does tear it in. And so as the NFL and NBC continues, it will be the Jacksonville Jaguars on offense when we come back. The Oilers scored on their opening drive today. They went 78 yards in 13 plays. Chris Chandler to Haywood Jeffries from 3 yards out. And that's how it stands 7-0. There's Tony Baselli, the great tackle from Southern California, the #2 player drafted in the past draft, the first pick of Jacksonville. Injured a knee in training camp, but he's due to come back soon. And when he does, well, Jeff Loggeman, the veteran defensive end of the Jaguars, says he plays like an all-pro now. As they go to the run, and Reggie Cobb takes it. James Stewart still out of the game after starting fast but banging up the shoulder, and Cobb gets ahead for a gain of about 3.
Now Reggie Cobb comes into this game hurt. Now there's Novak, who's number 67. He's taking Baselli's place. They say that Baselli works like something you cannot believe. I mean, his workout regimen is unbelievable. Novak has got an opportunity to show the guys that he can step up and play when the guy's gone, and he's doing a good job so far.
He had a good preseason until the last game. He had trouble with the Denver Broncos, Novak did. But so far, there's been just 1 sack of Berline. And here is a throw and a tip ball at the line of scrimmage. Oilers continue to get good pressure. Oilers have come with just 2 blitzes. We expected a lot of blitzes. And out of those 2 blitzes, they got 1 sack and 1 hurry.
Let's take a look at Novak on the last play. 67. See him moving back. Good balance. Helps out to his left. I don't know whether or not his man was the one that knocked it down, but he looked in good position, good balance, and Don, like you said, he had a great preseason other than that one nightmare that he had against Denver.
Denver was beating him with a wide rush. It is now 3rd down and 6. Berline stands in. Swing pass, and good defense by the Oilers. They tried to go to Reggie Cobb to the Jaguars, but Blaine Bishop, the strong safety, number 23, was right there on him and knocked it free, and the Jags have to punt again.
Now, I believe they snuck into a 46 here, because look at 23. The safety is right up in the line of scrimmage. He comes right up on Cobb and makes a great read, sticks his hand in there, and knocks it down. If they go to the 46 today, Blaine Bishop is the most important player in that defense. He roams around like a monster back and plays everywhere.
Barker ready to punt again. Mel Gray back, and Barker booms the ball. And he hit it into the wind, but here comes Mel Gray from the 26, ducking in, and he's taken down at the 32. Very good special teams play by the Jaguars. Monty Grove from the University of Florida, number 28, made the stop. They wanted to kick away from Mel Gray all day long, and that's the first punt he's returned. Ran it back 8 yards.
And you know, that was a really good kick. It was a diagonal kick, so he pushed Mel Gray into one area of the football field, thereby reducing the width of the field. We got a face mask. See if we can find it. Here's the beginning of the run back. Mel Gray cutting in, and let's see. Oh, there it is right there. And when you reach out and grab a face mask running by a guy, you can really hurt him.
Face mask. Number 23 of the receiving team during the run back. First down.
It's a big day in Jacksonville. The commissioner of the NFL, Paul Tagliabue, is here, along with some of the top officials in the league. Roger Goodell, Val Pinchbeck, Greg Aiello, Joe Brown is here. NFL on NBC continues as Houston continues to lead 7-0. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue in the back of the screen with his sunglasses. Checking it out on a big day in Jacksonville. It was his announcement that brought celebration and the good times rolling to North Florida when he announced that the expansion franchise was indeed coming to Jacksonville when it seemed that hope had been lost and it might be heading to St. Louis. Chandler with a terrific play, fumbles the ball, is taken in by the Jaguars. Jacksonville with the first turnover of the game at the Houston 15. Corey Mayfield got a room service interception. Actually, it was a fumble that he caught in midair.
Well, this is the first turnover in the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A great catch, a great play, helmet right on the football, and Corey Mayfield hustling back to help his teammate actually brought it in.
So now the Jaguars challenge to possibly tie this game. Down 7-0 with 7:42 to play in the first half. To the run they go. And Reggie Cobb going hard is upended hard. He gets planted inside the 15-yard line.
Cleveland up on New England by a single point. That'll reach it's a rematch of an AFC wildcard game. San Francisco as good as they used to be apparently. Rolling. Pittsburgh up on Detroit. Matchup of playoff teams from a year ago. And a surprise, the Colts a substantial favorite. Cincinnati hanging in with a 10-10 tie.
Carolina with a surprise lead at Atlanta 13-3. Could be an upset opening day, Beasley. Here is a throw by Beuerlein to the end zone. It's separated from the receiver, Desmond Howard.
Well, Desmond was right there, and the pass was right there, but also one of the greatest defensive backs in the league, Darrell Lewis, number 29, was right there in great position.
Well, that ball was
Here's
there,
a look
though.
at it. Great protection by the offensive line. The football is there. Desmond, with tight coverage from Lewis, has to spin back. It would have been a difficult catch. Quarterback knows that the defender can't see it. Desmond should have made the catch. I mean, that's the kind of catch that the great ones make, but great effort.
So very close to what could have been a tying touchdown. Now on third down, a very important down with 9 to go for the first down. Beuerlein wants to get some counsel from the sideline.
Well, Jacksonville hasn't done a good job on third down. They've converted 1 of 4. Now, one positive note is that Jacksonville has scored 10 of 13 in the red area. They're in the red area right now. In the preseason, they did very good in the red area.
Next Sunday, NBC Sports presents an exciting NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL on NBC. Featured in the doubleheader lineup, most of you will see Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and the Cowboys go against John Elway and the Denver Broncos. In early games, most of you will be on hand for a classic AFC Central rivalry as Bill Cowher's Pittsburgh Steelers visit the Astrodome to take on these Houston Oilers. Others will see a likely high-scoring game in New England going against Miami at Foxborough. Oakland plays the Redskins at Washington. And in game 2 of the doubleheader, most of you will see the Denver-Dallas showdown, while others will see the Jaguars visit Cincinnati. Check your local listings for the games in your area.
Well, this could be a tremendous boost in confidence for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it might wake up the 73,000 people who are kind of looking up at the blimp and enjoying the sunshine. They need to help their team by screaming.
Jacksonville only 1 of 4 on third down conversions, and now the blitz comes, and the blitz gets quarterback Steve Beuerlein. That was Blaine Bishop, the strong safety 23, who was there first. What did they leave early here, Beasley?
False start, 73, offense.
Brian DeMarco, the right tackle for the Jaguars, called for a false start.
I
Please
thought the
reset
Jags were going to get
the game clock to 6:56.
I thought the Jags were going to get a break there, but just a great blitz by Blaine Bishop. I told you a few minutes ago, when they go into their pressure defense, number 23, Blaine Bishop, is the one to watch. He'll be doing the blitzing. He'll be the one coming up to cover tight ends, to cover backs out of the backfield, and pressuring the offense.
Third and 15, Jacksonville on the 19.
Third down and 13 for Jacksonville from the 20-yard line of Houston. Oilers lead it in the second quarter 7-0. In pattern, but the throw to Willie Jackson results in only about 4 yards as the Houston's own defense was there to position and cut him off. Nice catch by Willie Jackson. Anthony Cook made the stop, the rookie defensive end. And now Mike Hollis, a rookie from Idaho, comes in the game for his first NFL field goal attempt. Before the game, he was hitting stuff that would have been good from 60 yards.
He put on a show before the game. He was in a big battle with Scott Sisson.
Yep.
He won the battle, and he has a chance to be in history right here.
The kick is on the way. He drives it up, and no good. So the Jaguars' first chance at points in the NFL go awry as the kick is wide by the rookie Mike Hollis. And the Houston Oilers, holding to a 7-0 lead, take over possession of the ball. 6:15 to go in the first half.
Well, there was no reason to miss that. No reason whatsoever.
There never is, but it happens.
Well, you know, sometimes the snap is wrong, but the snap was nicely. And look at that knuckleball. That's, boy, it looked like a, I don't know, that could be a tension thing. First ever kick. You got to know that this will drive you crazy. You're a rookie. You're trying to control your thoughts. You know, think positive thoughts. Sometimes you step up saying, oh, no, don't miss. And you will miss.
And back to the kids.
Yeah, back to the keys. They have to maintain their composure.
The Oilers, in their own end, go back to the run and to Gary Brown. He's the young man from Penn State, an 8th-round draft choice of Houston. All of a sudden was called on to run the ball a lot in '93, and he responded, starting just 9 games with over 1,000 yards rushing. He became a star early, and that caused some problems. There's a man down now for the Oilers. Looks like James Thornton, one of the tight ends, is down. And they call RoboCop. He's got muscles on his muscles.
Well, we can watch as Gary Brown hops and jumps and falls on the back of his teammate's leg. James Thornton, number 80. There's another look at it as he falls on the back of the left leg. And Thornton immediately grabs it in a little pain.
So James Thornton, one of the tight ends being attended to. A team that had no tight ends at one time starts this day with 4 in Thornton, Frank Wycheck, Michael Rohn, and Roderick Lewis. That's Frank Wycheck who's come in the game. We'll take a chance now to look at some of the scoring and how it happened in different places. I guess we won't. This is not complete yet. But you saw the 10-minute ticker on the NFL on NBC showing some surprises this day. Not the least of which is the expansion Carolina Cougars leading in Atlanta 10-3.
You know, that can cause a lot of problems when an expansion team comes into your town and beats you up.
That could cause a lot of problems.
That could cause a lot of problems. Cleveland still holding to that 7-6 lead over New England. Curtis Martin, he's been a terrific player for a rookie running back. McDonald with an interception return. That gives San Francisco its second score. New Orleans is on the board, though.
Mike Tomczak in for Neil O'Donnell as the Pittsburgh starter went out with an injury today.
As James Thornton is helped from the field here.
Marshall Faulk being shut down by the Cincinnati defense so far. Just 20 yards on 12 carries.
Yeah, keep watching. You can't hold him down for long.
Now it happens fast with him.
Yes, it does. Well, Thornton just walked off, James Thornton. So not exactly under his own power, though. We can only hope that he's okay.
Now as they break the huddle, coming wide to the right. Gary Brown is the lone setback. And the handoff goes straight ahead. Chris Sanders, a very highly regarded wide receiver from Ohio State. They could be going deep to him before long, the Oilers. But then Beasley also have to wonder how capable right now Chris Chandler is of throwing the deep ball, because he's playing hurt.
Every time he throws, we see him grab an arm, a hand. We can't really figure out what's wrong, but it's clear that he's playing in some pain and having some difficulty. Tough guy. He's hanging in there.
Chris married to the daughter of the former 49ers standout, the former NBC broadcaster John Brody. Chandler stands in. Apparently he's going to go long as he lofts the ball downfield, but it's not close to anybody. Nearest guy to it was one of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Harry Coleman. The strong safety was in the area. So once again, Houston has to punt. It looked like the Oilers were going to roll up a lot of points when the game started. Took it right down the field, primarily running the ball behind Gary Brown. And they took it in on a short pass from Chandler to Jeffries. But since then, they've not been close to a score.
You were just looking at the head coach, Jeff Fisher. This guy's got to be really getting nervous now. I mean, this team is hanging in there. They're missing opportunities. Suddenly, they're unable to move the ball. They come right out and drive it straight down. Jacksonville's starting to get it.
But Jacksonville, that's the biggest opportunity of the game, getting the fumble recovery inside the 20-yard line and coming away with no points. Good hands by Desmond Howard as he fields the punt. But he could not hold on to what would have been a touchdown pass a bit earlier. Stay with us at halftime for the Domino's Pizza NFL Live on NBC. The NFL on NBC will continue with Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, Joe Montana, and Joe Gibbs. We'll have all the scores and highlights in this opening day of the season. We'll take a look ahead to some key games in the weeks ahead. It's all coming your way on the NFL on NBC at halftime. Right now we have 4:54 to go in the first half. The crowd's been, for the most part, quiet here in Jacksonville. It was beyond exuberant for the preseason and before the game began, but that early drive of the Oilers took some of the steam, some of the gusto out of this following. Berline, quick drop, out pattern, gets the ball to Ernest Gibbons, and he takes it out to the 21-yard line, close to a first down.
Ernest Gibbons working against his former teammate, Darrell Lewis. Darrell tries to dump him at the end of the play. Ernest wouldn't let him. A lot of respect for one another, Gibbons and Lewis.
We talked to Gibbons about who he'd be John with. He said, well, definitely Darrell, and definitely with Chris Dishman. Old pals of his.
Yeah, old pals.
So they're going to have a lot to say. So will I. It's second down and short now for Berline and the Jaguars as they go to the straight ahead run and get the first down out to the 23-yard line. Reggie Cobb runs. We still have not seen James Stewart return. The rookie runner from Tennessee who was banged up early after running well. Injured a shoulder.
This is just a solid effort. A little tiptoeing in there by Reggie Cobb. He had to put a move because Al Smith, number 54, read the play right away and stepped in the hole. So a good job by Reggie not to get stopped for no gain. Good first down.
They're all good at this point, and really, Beasley, the Jaguars need that big hit downfield, though.
And they need something to wake the crowd up, to get them screaming when Houston has the ball.
Berline's going to try it. Stands in. The rush is coming. He fires and makes the connection. Good play by Desmond Howard for a first down. Throwing under pressure. Berline came into the wrong side, but Desmond Howard going back to the ball makes the play and a first down for Jacksonville.
Boy, that's a dangerous throw back across the field like that, but Berline got away with it, and Desmond brought it in. That's good for Desmond to get one in his pocket. He had a real good preseason. They get him untracked a little bit. He's a dangerous little guy.
A good point, getting that first one in his hands and holding on as he can make big plays.
Power running formation by Jacksonville.
Game clock shows 3:11 to play in the first half. Houston leads it 7-0. This time Reggie Cobb looked to dip outside, and all he got was a big load of Canavis McGee, who was an All-American in Colorado and hoping to emerge as an Oiler.
Now watch Canavis read this immediately. You had a lot of pulling from the Jacksonville offensive line. Canavis with total penetration. Now he was a linebacker, and they've converted him to the defensive line. He was only 257. He's about 265 now, 6'4", out of Colorado.
Started with the Giants, didn't do much there. They cut him. Played at Wheatley High School in Houston for one of the greatest players I've ever seen. A great strong safety for the Oilers. Here is the throw down the field, and going for the ball is Ernest Givens. And the ball is knocked away. Darrell Lewis was covering, but very nearly a big play.
There was no reason for Ernest to drop that one. That is Ernest's signature play. Over the middle, in trouble when you know you're about to get clocked. This ball is very catchable. And Ernest knew that Darrell was coming in. Look at the pressure once again. What is Canavis McGee been eating lately? He's been eating quarterbacks today. What a great rush.
Played for Ken Houston at Wheatley High School. Berline drops. Here comes the blitz. Berline with a well-timed throw. Hits his tight end, but great defense by the Oilers. Rich Griffith took the ball in. And Blaine Bishop, who a lot of these Oilers we talked with yesterday, Beasley, were raving about, is really making plays today.
Well, he's everywhere, and one of the reasons that he's everywhere is he's given that job. The job that he's given gives him a lot of freedom to move around and to get to people. Once again, pressure. Berline cannot continue to be popped like this. I mean, that was Tamar Barnes, number 22, a defensive back, hitting him that time.
We're down to the 2-minute warning as the NFL on NBC continues. Don Prigge with Beasley Reese back at Jacksonville, Florida. And back to live action as the Jaguars are ready to punt. Mel Gray is back for the Oilers. Ryan Barker hits the punt well downfield. Gray fields it on about the 5th bounce, and living dangerously, Mel Gray scoops it up and is quickly swept under by the pursuit of Jacksonville, led by number 59, Reggie Clark. The Oilers were concerned, Beasley, as you know, about a lot of crowd noise, so much so that they brought some special earpieces. But so far, for the most part, as we look at the earpiece, looks like to filter out the noise.
Yeah, it filters out the high frequency, which is the noise that comes from a crowd, and allows the lower decibel sound, like
kicking team during the return. First down.
Like the barking of a quarterback to filter through. They haven't had to use them at all because, well, the offense, number one, defense, offense, somebody's got to make a play that gets this Jacksonville crowd up and pumping and screaming like they were in preseason.
A face mask call. They're grabbing at Mel anywhere they can because he's that hard to bring down, Mel Gray. And the ball is now at the 30-yard line. And it's first down and 10 for Houston. Oilers leading late in the first half, 7-0. To the run. Rodney Thomas gets the call, and there's not much there for Rodney as they're playing the run so much better now after that opening drive. Jacksonville stopping the run, led by James Williams, an outside backer from Mississippi State, number 90. Bringing extra people on the line of scrimmage. Chandler drops. Here comes the rush. He dips it over the middle, makes the throw. Todd McNair makes the catch, and he's out to the 36-yard line. And that will bring up 3rd and about 3. Stopped by James Williams as the wind kicks up in North Florida.
Todd McNair is a 3rd down specialist. He did the same duty for Kansas City. He's a great guy coming out of the backfield.
And he was an integral part of their game plan. Here is a throw and a catch to Chris Sanders, a quick strike.
Yeah, but I believe he caught it.
Looks like he has enough.
Yeah, he was across the line when he caught it. That's a real good play. In effect, it's like a running play. It's a very safe throw. They needed 3 or 4 yards. It happened so quickly that the defense simply can react up to it after it's a first down.
Dave Thomas, the nickelback, was the guy that got him. Jerry Rome counseling his quarterback now on the sideline, Chris Chandler. Rome has worked with a lot of the good offensive programs in the NFL. He's new, as pointed out at the start of the game. They had that terrible offense at Houston last year. So they got a new quarterback in Chandler and a new offensive coordinator in Jerry Rome, a new all-pro center in Stepnoski from the Cowboys, and a guy that can give an offense great field position, the best kick returner in the NFL, Mel Gray. So far, Jacksonville's done a good job having him in, though, Beasley.
Well, Houston was extremely impressive on drive number 1 But after that, they've been disappointing. I mean, I haven't seen any explosion, any flash. There's talented guys on this team, some great offensive line.
First down, Oilers.
And Jacksonville has controlled them, contained them.
Jacksonville has had the one big play when they recovered the fumble inside the Houston 20, but could not score. Now Chandler was swept under on first down. Dropped the snap, picked it up, and was quickly hit back at the 38-yard line. Joel Smengi and Don Davey.
Well, Chris Chandler is doing something with his left arm. I'm telling you, he's not moving it. He's holding it close to his body. If he's hurt, that's the second time he's fumbled a snap. If he's hurt, he needs to take himself out.
The right arm is fine as he gets it downfield. A catch, then a drop.
Oh, what great defense.
Jeffries had it and lost it. Vinnie Clark helped him lose it, the left cornerback.
What great position. A great hand in between the arms of the receiver by Vinnie Clark. That is textbook. Great job, Vinnie.
Knocked it free. Almost a first down reception, and that brings up second down and long. Second down and 12. Make it third down and 12.
Holding. 72. Still second down.
It will still be second down, but a holding call on Brad Hopkins, the left tackle for the Oilers, sets the Oilers back inside their 30. Second down and 22. So Chandler's going to have to unload here. Chandler was knocked around a couple times early in the game and apparently pinched a nerve, as Beasley pointed out, has limited use of his left arm, but he's throwing the ball well still. Last downfield throw and out pattern was right on target. He goes to the run on second and long. And the Jaguars aren't buying Todd McNair. They read him all the way. James Williams and Vinnie Clark shut him down, and that will bring up third down and long for Houston. Now Jacksonville calls a timeout with 35 seconds left to play in the first half.
Well, this is a critical defensive opportunity.
The Bud 1 airship, the aerial ambassador of the King of Beers, is proud to provide you with these beauty shots of Jacksonville, Florida, and sold out Jacksonville Memorial Stadium. It used to be the Gator Bowl. They really redid the whole stadium.
It's beautiful.
I've never seen a better football facility.
No.
Every aspect of it.
The ground, the surface has no crown. They have a state-of-the-art drainage system underneath the dirt. It looks like an artificial turf. It is beautiful. This place is just screaming, bring us the Super Bowl.
That's right. It looks like Joe Robbie Stadium.
It's gorgeous.
It is. It's like the playing field's like the fairway at Augusta. I've never been on the fairway of Augusta. I hear they're good.
Neither have I. Now, I was at the TPC Jacksonville this week. It's beautiful.
Third down with 35 seconds left to play. Oilers go to the run, and Jacksonville shuts down Gary Brown quickly and signals another timeout with 30 seconds left. So Steve Berline and the Jaguars offense is going to have some room to operate. They're working into a gusting wind as they head to the north end of the field. The first field goal try of the day by their rookie kicker. Mike Hollis was missed at that end. I'm in close. But he got a long distance leg. Maybe he can hit one before the halftime.
I don't know what the Jacksonville crowd is waiting on here. This expansion team, a collection of guys from everywhere, 20 of them off the expansion draft, a few trades, 8 draft picks, 12 unrestricted free agents. They have become a team here before your eyes. I mean, they are holding down what should be opposing offense on paper to just 7 points. They adjusted very quickly to that first drive, and they should be applauded.
Looked like they were going to get blown out after that opening 78-yard, 13-play drive with Chandler to Jeffries and a 3-yard pass for the touchdown. But that's how it stood. It's still 7-0. The ball's hit long by Camarillo into the wind. Desmond Howard darts upfield, so he, with the dive, gets to the 16-yard line. But the Jaguars, with only 21 seconds with which to work, send out their offense.
First and long.
Kevin Gilbride, talking about the personnel in the Jaguars, said we've had good special teams, and with good reason, because a lot of these guys were special teams players in the other NFL teams they came from.
I thought that was such a great point. I mean, most of the guys that were drafted in the expansion draft, if you make a player available in the expansion draft, you know he's not your star guy. He's a pretty good guy. That's the reason he was drafted off of that list. But those guys were the guys that covered kicks and punts, and they were the backup linebackers starting every now and then, and that's the reason they're so good on specials.
Handoff, and running with the ball is Reggie Cobb, who's playing hurt. He missed most of the preseason. Eddie Robinson brings him down, so apparently Coach Coughlin's going to elect at his own end to let the clock run out. Another interesting observation, Beasley, that Gilbride had was about Coughlin and his discipline, the way he spells things out. He said Jack Pardee would tell players to be presentable when you travel. So Coughlin spells out what presentable is. Coat and tie. Loggeman says he owns his first suit because of the coat. At the half, the Oilers still holding to the 7-0 lead they had early in the game. The NFL on NBC will continue after this. There's 1-2 preseason games at the very end, so if they can hang in, they might be tough. As we look at the Coors Light halftime statistics.
Well, it's big. You know, you look at first downs, and Houston absolutely dominates. Rushing yards, Houston doing a better job. Passing yards are very close. Total yards, Houston dominating by a big margin, and that's the reason that they're leading.
And now they break the second half kickoff as the Jaguars take it down the field, and they'll start from across their across the 30-yard line. Willie Jackson was the man who brought that back so well. He is a second-year player from the University of Florida.
Well, this was an opportunity, a nice little skip move in the middle of this play right there. And there's another one. Kind of loses his balance off a half of a tackle. He really should still be running. Good job.
You see how good coaches are when you see what they do with the halftime adjustments. Let's see what the Jaguars try to do now to open the third quarter play with Berline at quarterback. First down and 10, and the Jaguars down to the Oilers by 7. Out pattern, well thrown. Gordon Valero, a tight end who's been moved to fullback with the Jaguars. Played tight end for Tom Coughlin at Boston College. Takes the swing pass, takes the hit from Al Smith. But there's a gain on the play of over 5 yards. It's second down and 4.
Valero is one of 3 Boston College players who were able to make this team with a little inside influence and a little hard work on their own. It's a good catch. He made the play.
Oilers were 0-3 in preseason. They scored only 2 touchdowns, their offense did, in those 3 preseason losses, as Reggie Cobb runs hard and gets a first down for Jacksonville. It looked today like the Oilers were going to score big as they took the opening kickoff and went 13 plays down the field, but the Jaguars stopped their run for the most part after that.
Jeff Fisher is letting these guys hang around. His defense is doing a pretty good job, but his offense fell off the track after being very much on track at the beginning of this game.
Berline with long counts, maybe looking for those Oilers to leave early. Goes back to Cobb on a cutback move. The 215-pound runner, also a product of Tennessee. Takes it out to the 45-yard line.
Reggie Cobb comes into this game after being banged up for most of the preseason, so he's not 100%. Looks like he's moving well there, but Stewart has been getting all the work. Cobb is a great player, did a great job with Tampa Bay. Coveted free agent.
On second down, Berline with a quick out makes the connection to Desmond Howard, and he's ahead across midfield and down to the 42-yard line of Houston. It is a 10-yard gain and a first down for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
See, I think that's the direction that Coughlin has to go. He's got to get the ball to his play breakers, not just his playmakers, but his guys that can break a big one. To Desmond, to Ernest Givens, those guys have the ability to catch one, make somebody miss, and go.
Coughlin talks about he's made a lifetime study of concentration and what it takes.
Oh, I love that part when he was talking about concentration.
Ball on the field, and Houston has it. It's Blaine Bishop, who's been making plays all day, who comes up with a free ball. You just talk about concentration, Beasley, and somebody ended that concentration.
Reggie Cobb was running like he had the ball, and it was out of his hands already. See, there it is, knocked out immediately. And here's Blaine Bishop. You know, once again, he's got the greatest job on the defense.
And there is a new quarterback in now for the Houston Oilers. Will Fuhrer from Virginia Tech comes in to quarterback the team, as Chris Chandler, troubled by a problem with his left arm, played valiantly in the first half.
Yes, he was valiant. He was brave, but there comes a point where you have to say, I'm banged up, and for the good of the team, I might need to sit down. Offsides that time. Tight end Frank Wycheck jumping.
Ball start. 89. Offense.
Wycheck was the man who left early.
He was a little excited. He thought he was going to get a chance to double down with the right tackle and really make a nice little chip block. Get the play started out. David Williams was standing there waiting on him to help him.
And that sets them back to first down and 15 for Houston. Our set. Double tight ends again, and they go to the run. Gary Brown right at the Jaguars defense, runs across midfield, got back the penalty yardage. It'll make it second down and 10. Joel Smengi, the left end, was the man who made the stop. There is Steve McNair, who is the third quarterback, but the quarterback of the future for the Houston Oilers.
They call him Mac Money.
Yep.
Mac Millionaire.
Yeah, he's all of that. $28 million contract. Meanwhile, Chris Chandler, the veteran quarterback and the starter for the Oilers, is in the locker room being x-rayed. A problem with his left arm. Will Fuhrer, a left-hander in a quarterback, strong of arm, knows the offense, has played under Rome. Started with the Chicago Bears. He's bounced around some.
You know, the throw of a left-hander spins the opposite direction. It even slides the opposite direction in wind and at certain patterns, so it is an adjustment for everybody.
Fuhrer stands and fires, and a drop ball at the 46-yard line on first down and 20. So concentration not very good there for Rodney Thomas, who had it right in his hand.
Well, there's not, you know, a sharp pattern like this, the spin has nothing to do with it. This guy just dropped this one. I mean, it's right there. You got to catch that. That's what you call a I'm worried about Keith Goganis miss there. He's worried about 54, the linebacker coming up and popping him.
Goganis has made some good hits in the middle. A former Buffalo Bill out of Penn State. Both coaches were concerned about the penalty count, and then right now it's even. Each team has been penalized 5 times, and all of a sudden, Beasley, this crowd kicks in.
That's what they need. They need to make it hard to call a play in this stadium.
Well, the crowd was loud briefly, but now as the Oilers go into the huddle, they quiet down.
Well, it takes a while. You got to be in the league a few years for, you know, when to make noise. You know. Okay, here they come again. They're starting to chant defense a little bit. But the Jacksonville season ticket holders will learn, you know, just when the guy's about to say down set, that's when you really start cranking it up so he can't change a play. Here they go.
Cranking it up.
Here they go.
Second down and 20 for the Oilers at their 40-yard line. Here comes the rush. Fuhrer stands in, releases the ball. Ball on the field. They rule it incomplete. Dick Duran, the defensive coordinator for Jacksonville, talked about having to get man pressure on the quarterback. We can't let the quarterback be comfortable. And they are getting a good 4-man rush.
Yeah, it's good blocking up front. Ferrara's doing some weird stuff with his body. He gets the ball out there. That's just another miss.
Now a very big third down emerges in this game.
That was the defensive coordinator, Dick Duran, one you were looking at. Screaming out at his guys.
And that's going to be a penalty. Brad Hopkins left early as this crowd noise is really...
See, the players realize they got to get them screaming. They're pumping them up now.
Our producer Kevin Smolin speculates it might be the halftime refreshments that got him cooking. Our director today is Richard Klein as we come to you on NBC, the NFL on NBC, opening day 95. They're really revving up, and now they're going to hand signals, and Jarrett has to call timeout. Here's another penalty marker. It's going to be a delay of game.
Now, you know what? That's a bad job by Houston, because they just taught 73,000 people that you can disrupt what we're doing if you make a lot of noise.
Delay. Offense. Still third down.
Well, now you watch this crowd now that they realize that they are a player. They are the 12th man.
Boy, I tell you, from no crowd noise, we've gone to some of the all-time crowd noise. Pure stands in. Here comes the rush. They get him. He bounces off, swings it away. And then Vinnie Clark makes a big, big hit. And the Oilers have to punt the ball. The emotion of this game has changed dramatically on that series.
Well, suddenly the players are flying around. The crowd is screaming. Will is absolutely playing for his life. You see his body gyrating in different motions. Good job by the defense.
The punt by Camarillo. Hit downfield. It's a low punt. Could be tough to handle. Desmond Howard wisely lets it roll. It's a great punt by Camarillo all the way down to the 19-yard line of Jacksonville. Where John Henry Mills downs it for the Oilers. Jaguars get it when the NFL on NBC continues.
You've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite. Life is good.
Don Criqui with Beasley Reese as the rain starts to fall on what was sunny Jacksonville, Florida. Jaguars on offense. First down and 10 with Berline at quarterback. He fakes and rolls out. Looking downfield. Going to take it himself and slides out of bounds after a gain on the play of about 7 yards. Blaine Bishop was right there. This Blaine Bishop is really turning into a terrific player. There's number 23 from Ball State University, Muncie, Indiana. Second down and 4 for the Jaguars, who trail as they have since early in the game, 7-0. Berline with a throw and good defense by the Oilers. Got the ball on the hands of Rich Griffith, but lots of Oilers were there to separate him from the ball.
That was Eddie Robinson right on the edge of that play. The defense is starting to play a lot of man-for-man for Houston. And there's really not much pressure, but look at Eddie Robinson right there. There's Blaine Bishop is a pitcher also. He's done everything. Picked up fumbles, knocked people out. Blaine has been all over the place.
Play after play. They raved about him, the coaches did yesterday, and he has backed it up today. Third down arises for the Jaguars. Third down, and they need 5 as the Oilers bring people up. The linebackers up tight. Berline gets some time. Fires downfield, a long ball, and Desmond Howard had it for a moment and lost it. Good quarterback coverage, though. Chris Dishman running.
Well, that's the only problem that Desmond has had. I mean, he's run some great patterns, but when you're playing against Chris Dishman and Darrell Lewis, you have to put super moves. I mean, Dish was all over that.
Berline with a laser accurate deep ball. was right there, but so was Dishman.
Back for the Oilers.
Number 21. Holding. 36. Offense. It's declined. Fourth
Would have
down.
come back anyway. Ryan Christopherson, a rookie fullback, called for holding.
Here's that throw by Berline. Right on the money. But Dishman is in perfect position.
There's the punt by Barker downfield. Mel Gray comes up on it. Fair catches the ball at his 39-yard line. And that's where the Houston Oilers will go back on offense, leading 7-0 as the NFL on NBC continues. Only one sack by the Houston defense so far. They do have 3 knockdowns and a deflection. Gary Brown runs once again. He gets ahead for about 5 yards out to the 45-yard line of the Oilers. Vinnie Clark makes the stop. Houston plays its home opener at the Astrodome next Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who right now are going to slug it out with Detroit.
75 Oilers, the 45-yard line.
9:38 to go in the third quarter. Oilers in and out of the huddle at their leisure. Running clock with a 7-0 lead. Gary Brown turns it up. Following his blockers well, he has a Houston first down.
Well, that's the first time that Gary Brown has broken away since really that big drive. That time they lost containment on the end, and Gary was able to scoot it around for the most part after that one series, a series in which he gained 45 yards, by the way. They have controlled Gary Brown. Here he is with just great seal blocking on the outside. Scoots around and makes a nice play out.
And gets the first down to the 46-yard line of Jacksonville. Brown again, and this time Harry Cullen, a strong safety. Number 24 makes the stop for the Jaguars. We'll watch again.
Gary Brown has gained 72 yards already on 19 carries. Not much this time. The defense almost put the helmet right on the football there, but Brown will probably get a workman-like 100 yards out of this game, but for the most part, Jacksonville has done a good job.
They've done a very good job. As the game's worn on, they've made the adjustments and slowed the run, which looked like it would dominate early in the game. Fuhrer fires an out pattern, and coming down with the ball is Roderick Lewis, one of his tight ends, who's inside the Jacksonville 40 and down to the 39-yard line.
Lewis run out of bounds by Vinnie Clark. Third down.
Pittsburgh currently leading Detroit 13-10. That game in the third quarter. Cincinnati's up on Indianapolis 16-10. Jacksonville heads to Cincinnati next Sunday. And the Rams and the Packers are tied 7-7 in the third quarter. Third down. The Oilers need 3, and they have crowd noise to come back. Great run. This is Rodney Thomas, the rookie from Texas A&M, busting it down inside the 10 and down to the 7-yard line.
Well, I don't know where you'll find a hole any bigger than that one. Mark Stepnowski, Bruce Matthews. Here's a good look at it. See Stepnowski doubling down to the right. It's the all-pro from Dallas that just drives about a 5-foot hole on it. Stepnowski with a great block and just a run through on Rodney Thomas. Look at Step, 53. Stepping in to help 77 Kevin Donnelly, and then coming off to knock off a linebacker. That's all pro work, and that's what made that run a great run.
A double block by Stepnowski. They signed a 4-year contract worth over $9 million after his Pro Bowl seasons with the Cowboys. It was interesting, Stepnowski's assessment of the Oilers. He said this team has a load of talent. It can be a very good team.
He's a cool customer in the meeting. You know, you ask him a question, he takes his time, speaks very slowly, looks at you like he'll kill you. Bench press is 450 pounds. What a player they were able to bring in.
He's very undersized, only 265 or 270, but he's very strong and has absolutely superb feet. He's so quick. Extra man was on the field. We'll see. The Oilers were trying to send something in with a wide receiver, and he was the 12th man on the field, but they're going to give him a timeout, not a penalty.
Number 1.
So the Oilers could put on what might be a knockout punch if they can punch it in here when we come back on the NFL on NBC. Apparently done for the day. He was on target with some throws that were dropped. He had a touchdown throw in the end zone to Desmond Howard that Howard couldn't hold on to. Right now it's the Houston Oilers leading 7-0, looking to take it in. They go to Gary Brown. He's down to the 3 and doesn't get much more as the tough front four led by Lageman of Jacksonville hunts the ball, looking to knock it free.
Lageman, Pritchard, Smingy, Don Davey. That's a formidable defensive line, and they've done a great job. Once they settled down and figured out the blocking patterns, they've done a super job. There's the group right there.
That's been the strength of the defense, the front four. Cincinnati now leading Indianapolis in what would be an upset 18-10 third quarter. Now the Jacksonville Jaguars call a timeout as they see something they're not ready for in the Houston offensive alignment.
They only had 10 guys on the field also. Then number 90 comes in late.
Tough enough to win with 11, right?
It's tough enough to win with 11, especially on the goal line. So a bunch of people.
In case you missed it on the NFL on NBC, some breaking news today. The NFL ruled there was no evidence of a salary cap violation by the Dolphins regarding Dan Marino's stock purchase. The Oakland Raiders lawyer Joseph Alioto said the NFL's lawsuit versus the Raiders was, and I quote, a sneak attack. And they will, and I quote again, fight back, the Raiders. And the video company Sega is pressuring Deion Sanders to sign with an NFL team. Sega needs to know what uniform Sanders will wear for its Christmas marketing.
Okay, see, that's the NFL in 1995.
Jerry Glanville, who coached Sanders at Atlanta, told me that Deion Sanders likes nothing more than attention, and when he announces where he's going to play, the attention stops. He will drag it out. He likes to make the announcement as late as he can as they continue to speculate. Here's a handoff straight ahead. Rodney Thomas on third down did not get in. He's down to the 1-yard line. And now the Oilers are going to send out their kicking team. A good move. The offense wants to punch it in if they can. But Jeff Fisher knows too well a 10-0 advantage could be decisive.
Well, the Oilers that time tried to spread the defense across the field to create some natural holes for Brown and Rodney Thomas to run through. Didn't work. Once again, a great job by the defensive line.
Al Del Greco will try the field goal. He's pretty much automatic in his again. 11 straight field goals for Al Del Greco. And the Oilers extend their lead now to 10-0 with 5:22 to play in the third quarter. Al Del Greco just extending his consecutive field goal streak to 12 in a row, a Houston Oilers team record, hitting from in close and giving the Oilers a 10-0 lead. And we're going to have a pitching change for Jacksonville when they go on offense as now we wait Del Greco's kickoff. It's downfield. Willie Jackson is back along with Jimmy Smith. This is Smith. And he breaks it all the way out to the 30-yard line. Lost the ball for the moment. Got it back. And here comes Mark Brunell out to quarterback the Jacksonville Jaguars. The last 2 years, this University of Washington product has spent with the Green Bay Packers. He must have been good because Ray Rhodes, the coach of the Eagles, tried hard to get him. But Brunell was acquired to trade.
Brunell is a better athlete. He gets a standing ovation from this crowd here because they respect what he did in preseason. He has a better arm. He's a better athlete. He has better improvisational skills. But Berline makes better decisions. And that's the reason they went with Steve Berline.
Well, we'll see what Brunell does. He goes from a power set, no wide receivers. So they're going to come out banging, and they do. They go to the run, and all the tight ends in the world can't stop a blitz like that. Terrific play by Michael Barrow. The outside linebacker, 56, who just blew by everybody and made the hit in the backfield.
Now, this is not, you know, the move to Brunell is not a slight on Berline. I want everybody watching the game to understand that this is a part of their offense. You know, Berline makes great decisions. He's the leader. But if they need a spark, you know, we were told they would go to Brunell without question.
Berline was 7 of 17 throwing the ball while he was in for 54 yards. There were some big drops, though, including one by Desmond Howard of what should have been a touchdown pass. Brunell in trouble, gets it away, and again they lose yardage. So Brunell comes in, but on a run and then on a pass on consecutive plays. The Oilers defense absolutely sweeps under the Jaguars offense. Cedric Tillman comes in the game with a play. Cincinnati with a dramatic opening are now up 21-10 over the heavily favored Indianapolis Colts at Indianapolis.
Hey, the pressure comes in from behind and you have no chance to react. You don't see it coming, so really Mark is very lucky to get that one off.
Again, a mistake on the right side of the Jaguars line as they
start. Number 50.
Tom Myslinski, the right guard, set up the pass block early. Pressure's really on Brunell here, Beasley, because they know he has to throw on 3rd and long.
Yeah, this is just, it's horrible if this happens. There's Myslinski popping up at the top of your screen. A lot of pressure here for Brunell.
Brunell in the shotgun with a 3 wide receiver set. 4-man rush by the Oilers, and they get him back at the 12-yard line. Anthony Cook, the rookie from South Carolina State, was the first man through number 78.
Well, we were told by the offensive coordinator that they were worried about the ability to block the front 4 of the Houston Oilers. I mean, Kevin Gilbride knows these guys. He knows Childress, Montgomery, Ford, Cook.
Another good punt by Barker into the wind. Brian Barker hits it to Mel Gray at the Oilers 38. Mel Gray weaves his way to midfield, and again Houston starts with very good field position. The NFL on NBC will continue with the Houston Oilers leading the Jacksonville Jaguars 10-0.
Hold on, just 7 points up on these guys.
Well, actually, they've extended that to 10 now as Fuhrer fires over the middle, and the ball is tipped away. Gogenius got a hand on the ball. But the continuing problem for the Jaguars can a lack of big plays on offense.
Yeah, well, this one could have been a great interception. That's super coverage in front. A linebacker down below tipped it up in the air.
72 defense. Correction. 72 offense.
Brad Hopkins,
first down,
who's been against Jeff Lageman. Lageman has played a tremendous game for Jacksonville. Number 56.
Houston has got some big games coming up, and once again, they didn't exactly, even if they were able to win this game, they didn't come in here and put on a show today.
It doesn't get easier next week. They'll be home at the Astrodome.
That's right.
Against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's right, and there's nothing on this tape yet that would scare Pittsburgh.
I'll tell you, that will make you a little nervous if you're a Houston Oilers fan, though. Lageman coming right over Hopkins for the sack. Boy, this guy's played some great ball.
You know, you got to watch his quickness and his footwork. I mean, he's coming from the top of your screen. He puts an inside charge that happens so quickly that nobody has a chance to respond. So Lageman appropriately gets the first sack ever for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Lageman, the guy who told us he has, from the encouragement of Coach Coughlin, his first suit ever to adhere to the dress code for travel. Says he has his own sport coat, which he never wore much. Fuhrer throws downfield. Oh, a big play. Vinnie Clark makes a huge play as Haywood Jeffries was running free. And had Vinnie Clark not got a hand on that ball, that would have been a touchdown for Houston.
Well, this is a double zone. The cornerback has the flat, the safety has the deep route. And as you mentioned, Don, the safety was nowhere near being in responsibility folding over the top. So it's a good thing that Vinnie was in position. Vinnie feels like he should have caught the ball.
Vinnie's another Jacksonville Jaguar who's made a terrific opening impression here in their first regular season game. Third down. Here needs 25. He dumps off a screen pass and some hard tackling once again by Lageman, who is absolutely playing brilliant football.
Lageman is doing exactly what he look at the top of the screen. It's a bull rush, 360 spin, showing his athletic ability, and then the reaction back in to help out, actually make the tackle by himself. What a play.
The two standouts in that Jacksonville defense is definitely a great play of Lageman and of cornerback Vinnie Clark. Now the Oilers punt. Camarillo, who hits it long, booms one downfield. Desmond Howard has to watch it roll again. Camarillo's done a superb job pinning the Jaguars back with his punting. Now there's a penalty flag thrown. What could that possibly be?
Well, while they started out, you know, here's a little note for you. The Houston's last two passes were 3rd and 30 and 3rd and 25. I mean, that's just a great tribute to the Jaguar defense, the way they have come alive.
Jaguar coaches talking about the need for their front four to keep the quarterback under heat all day long, and they've been doing that as the game has worn on. The starting quarterback out. Chandler of the Oilers having his left arm x-rayed. He had some problems with that. Played very well and directed them to their first half lead. Throwing for the only touchdown of this game, a 3-yarder. Then the short field goal by Del Greco. And the Houston Oilers stand in command of this game at the moment, 10-0 with 1:40 to play in the third quarter. Not over yet. But the Jaguars have to get some offense with their backup quarterback now in the game, Mark Brunell, who on the first series was absolutely overwhelmed by the Houston defense.
Well, I think we've got this thing sorted out.
It's taken a while. Cincinnati up in Indianapolis now, 21-13. Jacksonville traveling to Cincinnati next week. And Tampa Bay leading Philadelphia 14-6 in the fourth quarter. Wow, that's an upset if it holds. Here's Johnny Greer to give us the signal.
Illegally touching the ball on the kicking team. The player went out of bounds and was the first to touch it. Will re-kick after a 5-yard penalty.
Okay, so what we have there, Beasley, the coverage man went down, was out of bounds, and came back in.
Right. Without someone else touching the ball first.
Next Sunday, join NBC Sports for the NFL on NBC at 12:30 Eastern Time. Host Greg Gumbel will be joined by our team of Super Bowl champion coaches Mike Ditka and Joe Gibbs, and co-host Ahmad Rashad. Miami Dolphins receiver Irving Fryer chats with Ahmad on how his life has taken a turn for the better in recent years. That's all next Sunday starting at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL on NBC. On opening day on the NFL on NBC, 1:40 to play at Jacksonville. Houston with a 10-0 lead and ready to punt the ball. Desmond Howard is back. He is a game breaker, returning punts. In the opening preseason game against Carolina, he ran one back 66 yards for a touchdown. This will be his first return. Breaks the first wave and then dives across the 25 out to the 26-yard line, where Marcus Robertson got him for the Oilers.
First and 10, Jaguars.
The aerial ambassador high above Jacksonville Memorial Stadium. The Bud 1 airship, our eye in the sky today, providing these pictures from 1,000 feet above the stadium. Been a very, very nice September day in Jacksonville, Florida. Temperatures in the low 80s. Not a lot of humidity. There was a little brief flurry of rain, but for the most part, playing conditions have been excellent. Here's the throw by Burnell. He's almost picked. Oh. Very close. Chris Dishman, who's done that before, picked it off and run it back. Almost got one.
That was just a great break on the ball, and Brunell throwing the out route. It's the longest, most difficult throw geometrically. And look at that with the left hand, number 29, Darrell Lewis knocking it down. If he'd have got just a half of a breath quicker up at it, it'd be an interception for a touchdown.
Hand off to Shea Maston, the former Oiler, runs it at his old teammates and takes it out to the 40. Second down and 10. He gained 15. Bishop and Darrell Lewis were on the stop for Houston.
And he's turning back and talking a little trash on the way. Now that was good blocking by Tom Myslinski, clearing up the pass. Some hard hits on the inside, but Lachey does a great job of running there. Dave Wydell, the center, and Tom Myslinski working together there to open up a big hole.
Maybe the biggest of the day by the offensive run blockers. Brunell stands in. On the run, Brunell has an open field. And he flies to a safe, sure halt. 25 yards downfield at the 35-yard line of the Oilers. Boy, this guy can motor, huh?
No, that's what he can do. He's faster. He's a super athlete.
Kind of a John Elway look here.
Yeah, now see, when he sees it, he goes. Starts pointing for people to block as much as he can, and then into second base.
Jacksonville gave up a 3rd round and a 5th round pick in the '95 draft to acquire Mark Brunell. They're well stocked at quarterback with Burline, Brunell, and the rookie Rob Johnson from Southern California.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter.
That'll do it for 3 quarters of play. The Oilers continue to lead. The Jaguars are driving as the NFL and NBC continues with these messages from your local station.
It's 3rd down and long. The quarterback bursts out the signal. Hut, hut, hut. The crowd roars. Roar! They got him. They're pounding on him, stomping on him.
Hey, kid.
Mr. Brunell, want to share my Whopper?
So you're going to be a sports announcer?
Yep.
Well, you got to get the plays right. Quarterback looks, finds a receiver in the end zone. Touchdown!
Roar!
Taste the one and only Whopper, where the big cats eat.
Brunell on the rollout. Once again gets big yardage. Another first down as Brunell, under the heat from the Houston pass rush, finds open lanes. First down the middle of the field for 25 yards. Now on a rollout down the far flank for 14 more.
In the scheme of this offense, he's supposed to be the spark, and that's exactly what he is. And look who's back in the game. James Stewart out front. James didn't block anybody, but he was out front going out for a pass. Brunell opting to run it and does a great job. That's what he's supposed to do. Come in like a reliever to give a little spark to the offense, and that's what he's done.
Scott Mitchell just brought the Lions close at Pittsburgh with a touchdown pass. The Steelers now leading the Detroit Lions 20-17. Pittsburgh at Houston next Sunday in the Oilers home opener.
Brunell is now the leading rusher for the Jags. 2 carries for 36 yards.
Another timeout on the field with 14:33 to play. We'll be back with the NFL on NBC in a moment. Jaguars scoreless so far in their NFL opener, mounting their second major challenge of this game. They have the ball 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line of Houston. Oilers leading 10-0. To the run, and James Stewart, who's been out since running well in the first quarter when he banged his right shoulder, takes it straight at the Oilers and gets maybe 2 yards.
Jaguars on the 22-yard line.
Second down and 8. 14 minutes to go in the game. Mark Brunell at quarterback. Quick drop, takes a look, makes a throw. Not near a connection. There's no question that the greatest impetus of this offense with Mark Brunell is when he runs the ball. There is a penalty marker down in the Oilers secondary.
Well, this offense does have a lot of adjustments involved from the wide receiver position. So it looks like Brunell and whatever receiver he was looking at misread one another.
It was way off target. There was no connection, not even close. As Kevin Gilbride calls the plays for Brunell.
There is no infraction on the play. The contact happened within the chuck zone.
So apparently the defensive back hit a wide receiver, but he was within the 5-yard zone where that is permitted. The Jaguars haven't driven on their own into the red zone yet this game. They did recover one fumble, but they gained a couple yards here, and they will have made the red zone where they scored 10 of 13 times during the preseason.
And they were effective down close. And a lot of time left. We still have 13 minutes and 53 seconds to play.
Jags are 1 of 8 on 3rd down.
Brunell stands in. Here comes the rush. He makes the throw and the connection. Desmond Howard is down to the 14-yard line. Very close to a first down. He didn't. We'll see. It's going to be by the nose of the ball if he got there.
What's impressive here is the patience of Brunell. He has to wait until the receiver completely crosses from the other side of the field. So Desmond Howard, coming from the left all the way across, takes a lot of patience because you got to trust your offensive lineman.
Got it, Beasley.
To be making blocks.
The Jaguars get the first down. Now Coach Coughlin in close consult with his offensive coordinator Gilbride. Gilbride, the offensive coordinator of the Oilers from '89 through '94. Fired midway through that season, 10 games in. James Stewart takes that pop, keeps on going. Blaine Bishop got him. This guy is turning into a star, Blaine Bishop.
He really is a fine defensive player. And look at the blocking on the right side here. This opens up a gigantic hole for Stewart. Bishop is the only person there to step into it, and as hard as he hits Stewart with great balance. And remember, he had the shoulder hurt earlier, and this shot by Bishop might have caught it again. Yeah, they're reaching in, trying to get to his right shoulder. There's a good look at it. Look at Bishop lining up his man, the shoulder, the helmet, right on the bad shoulder.
Those two standout defensive tackles for the Oilers, Ray Childress and Glenn Montgomery, are forcing the Jaguars to run outside. There's just nothing in the middle. They take a look and there's no gap, and then they have to bounce outside. That time, Stewart took a hard shot on a shoulder that already was troubling him. So we might see Reggie Cobb, who's also playing with some nicks, come back in. Oilers scored on their opening drive of the game. They went 78 yards on 13 plays. Chris Chandler passed to Haywood Jeffries for 3 yards and the touchdown. Then they scored their field goal late in the 3rd quarter on a short field goal try by Al Del Greco. A team record 12th consecutive for Del Greco, dating back to last year. Chris Chandler out of the game now, apparently okay. They x-rayed his left arm. He just pointed with it.
Chandler delivering soda to one of his buddies.
Whatever he can do to help.
Yeah, always trying to help.
2nd and 7 from the 11. There's a little room there for Ryan Christopherson, a rookie from Wyoming, but it closed quickly. And guess who? Blaine Bishop, strong safety, made the stop.
It's a great job, that strong safety job for the Houston Oilers defense here. Your nose will always be in the action.
Yeah, the way they have him aligned.
Yeah, and if and when they start running the 46 again, he really becomes a star. Because the 46 allows him to just blitz, roam, go on instinct.
Bishop had 116 tackles last year. He was second to the middle linebacker, Al Smith. Brunell rolling out and does the smart thing. He throws the ball away as he was under heavy duress. Coming home was big Henry Ford from Arkansas, number 92. Jaguars looking for the first points in the history of this franchise in the regular season. Mike Hollis, the rookie from Idaho, who missed a field goal in the first half. Lining up for what should be a sure shot. This will be a 27-yarder. Ryan Barker, the punter, is the holder.
The last one wasn't very far. He's got to control his thoughts here. Put that first one out of his mind. Concentrate on his technique.
That looked good. As soon as it left the foot, and the Jaguars are on the board, down by 7 again, but still a lot of time to go. 11:58 left to play in the game. When the NFL and NBC continues, we'll be back with the Jaguars kicking off. Back to Jacksonville, where the Jaguars have just put up a field goal by Mike Hollis, who now kicks off to Houston. Oilers leading at 10-3. Mel Gray does the smart thing, and he'll down the ball in the end zone. Mel Gray in check.
Yes, they have. Once again, he's pretty much a non-factor. Houston Oilers still allowing an expansion team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, to hang around.
They are.
Growing confidence.
They are hanging around.
Like Kevin Gilbride told us, Don, this team believes because they've done it. In preseason, they have a short history as a franchise and a short history of games. Last thing they remember, the last 2 times they were in tight contests, they won it in the end.
A turnover could loom large. Last week in a loss to the Cowboys, the Oilers turned it over 7 times and had 12 penalties. This time the Jaguars shut down Gary Brown in the Houston backfield.
Look at this defense.
After that loss to Dallas last week, Beasley, Jeff Fisher said we shot out every toe on both feet. 7 turnovers and 12 penalties. And they've cut down a lot of those things today. Certainly the turnovers, there's been penalties on both sides, not 12.
72,363.
Houston's got to try to convert on 3rd down, cut down penalties, and play like they practice. That's what they're trying to do. Just a reminder, they've done part of it well.
Penalty marker is down. The umpire threw it. He stands behind the linebackers, and often it's a holding call on the offense. Big upset with one of your own teams, old teams, Beasley, holding command at Philadelphia. The Bucs are up 21-6 over the Eagles.
Well, that's a surprise, but I did a Buccaneer game in preseason, and they looked good everywhere except there was a question at quarterback.
Offense. Still 2nd down.
Whether or not young Trent Dilfer could perform, and he ended up having a great preseason, and apparently is off to a great start. So that was the missing link for Tampa.
You spent time there also with the Cowboys and the Giants.
Yes, I did. I've got 3 teams to root for every Sunday.
Throw and a drop. Derek Russell, hands on the ball, couldn't hold it. And that brings up 3rd down and 16 for the Houston Oilers.
Well, this should have been complete. The offensive line hung on as long as they could. The ball is right there. No questions. On a big play.
Hope the playing field's in good shape for the Oilers next week at the Astrodome. They had that preseason game called off. Hey, anybody that sees this stadium, I've never seen a better football stadium here in Jacksonville.
It is beautiful.
It's almost beyond beautiful. It's perfect.
Okay, here's one of the keys. They wanted to play well on 3rd down.
Long ball. Haywood Jeffries makes the play, then loses the ball at the 44. Oh. Dave Thomas hit him as he was coming down. The Oilers have to punt from deep in their own end.
Well, offensive coordinator Jerry Rome said it. You know, in practice, they catch these balls with one hand. You get in the game, you got Russell dropping one. You got the quarterback Will dropping this right in there. It's an underthrow, which often helps the receiver because he can stop while the defenders are looking forward. He's looking back. He can stop, slide under it, and didn't make the catch.
Desmond Howard standing back at his 40. Camarillo pumps it high for the Oilers. He shanked it into the wind a bit. Howard comes up and makes a great open field catch on the ball. Fair catching at the 46-yard line of Houston. With 10.5 minutes to go, the Jaguars have the ball while the Oilers hold the lead. James Stewart, the standout rookie runner for the Jacksonville Jaguars, troubled by a badly bruised right shoulder. He was out of the game for much of it after starting quickly in the first half, running well. Now they have Ryan Christopherson, another rookie, and a blocky fullback from Wyoming, and he gets the ball. There's not much room to go. He does get a couple of yards down to the Oilers' 43-yard line.
A little history on Christopherson. He had a couple of super preseason games, and then he went brain dead and fumbled twice in one game. So he has a lot of promise. He's built like a little rolling ball. Hard runner.
Big matchup on opening day at Foxborough. The Cleveland Browns continue to lead the Patriots 14-9. Fakes, lets it go. Ooh, contact downfield. Let's see what the ruling is. I think they ruled it. The defender was looking back at the ball as they were trying to go to Ernest Gibbons.
That was a great play. This is a curl and go. Gibbons ran down and hitched at about 8 yards and then tried to explode. But once again, he's playing two of the best cornerbacks in the world, Chris Dishman and Darrell Lewis. For Ernest, this is his birthday. You would think that his old buddy Darrell Lewis would let him catch one ball.
A game of that be some present. Riddell, man, he put some pop on that fastball, and again, very good coverage. They tried for Ernest Gibbons again. And again, it was Darrell Lewis off the right corner, running stride for stride with him.
Well, the trash talking continues. This is great defensive position. Hand over the shoulder right at the right time. Ernest wanted a pass interference call, but the timing was absolutely pristine. That's a cornerback, one of the best in the game. One of the best ever.
They've got two of the best in the game.
Oh, I love those guys. Both of them.
A lot of good personnel on this Houston team. This game was critical for them to win. They have not done that yet. The Jags hanging right in, and here's a long punt by Parker downfield. It caroms into the end zone for a touchback. Houston will start from the Oilers' 20-yard line.
Parker's a little disappointed because he should have been able to put that out inside the 20. They'll get the ball at the 20. He should have been able to drop that at the 10, save a little yardage for his team.
Put it up.
The Minnesota Vikings back in 1960 were the only team to win their opening game as a expansion team. 1961 was actually their first game. They went against the Chicago Bears. Fran Tarkenton from Georgia was at quarterback for the Vikings. He had a big day, and so did the Vikings under Van Brocklin as they won that game 37-13. Now on the run is Will Fuhrer, and he does well for the Oilers, gets out to the 28-yard line.
And Will Fuhrer is no graceful athlete, but boy, he gets it done. His body kind of gyrates all over the place, but he throws a nice pass, and you saw there that when he needs to turn up and run, he can motor.
It was also interesting, Beasley, talking to some of these Oilers about the speculation the team may move to Nashville, Tennessee.
That bothered a lot of guys, and I don't understand why.
It would bother me. I mean, why do you go from the 8th market to the 50th? Yeah, but Nashville's been a stalking horse for every pro sport.
Absolutely, I agree and I understand, but that wouldn't make me play bad in a football game. No, I mean they're claiming that the distraction, you know,
I agree with you.
What's bothering them. Well, when you kick off, you got to let it go.
Can't be.
You worry about that when you get on the plane going home. You start worrying about, oh, we might move. Right now, it's time to play.
If football doesn't go in a big city in Texas, it's not going to go anywhere.
No, so you might as well close up.
That's the national game.
Close up.
Handoff straight ahead. Gary Brown takes it straight ahead. Out to the 36-yard line. You being a native of Waco.
Yes. Oh, I know. If you didn't play football in Waco, there's something wrong with you.
Myself having started briefly in basketball for Lackland Air Force Base.
There you go.
Some years ago.
Yeah.
Used to beat Japers out Edwards and Hondo. Unbelievable. Oilers come out of the huddle now. 2nd down and 9. Ten to 3 Houston. Nice throw by Fuhrer.
I tell you, Fuhrer looks good. Hey, he's throwing a great ball. I mean, I'm cracking on him a little bit about the way he yanks his body around, but man, he's throwing darts and running good. He looks good.
That time he hit Derek Russell, the former Denver Bronco, as the game clock is running down to 7:15 to play. Oilers in the lead by a 10-3 count, looking to run clock. 2 years ago, Houston was the winningest team in the NFL, 12-4. 7 straight playoff years. Last season, they had the worst record. And the personnel is in place to be pretty darn good this year. I think Jacksonville's defense might be a lot better than people have given it credit for. It's not going to be defense that gave up a lot of points.
Well, they are certainly doing a good job now, and this is a critical moment. Here at midfield, they need to come up and make a play. Clock's ticking away, and Houston would like to be able to do what they did in the first drive, just stick it in big Gary Brown's stomach. They need to make him make a move here.
Gary Brown on 2nd down and 5. Rockets ahead and close to the 46-yard line. About 2 yards short of a first down. 3rd down and 2.
You know, to illustrate what Jacksonville has done on defense, in the first half, Houston had 10 first downs. In the second half, they've only had 4, and that last first down was the first one that they had since the 10-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. So it's really been a change out there. A momentum switch.
And with the lead and a cautious offense, not looking to turn it over, they've kind of kept it in check. Now Fuhrer is starting to open it up more. Let's see what he does on 3rd and 2. Actually a bit less than 2. To the run, and Brown puts his head down. The linesmen come in. And if he gets it, it's going to be by the nose of the ball.
It doesn't look like from here.
Don Davey
Looked like he made it.
James Williams with the stoppers as Coach Fisher checks it out. Going to send in his punter, Rich Camarillo, with a 7-point lead. That's what you have to do if you're playing percentages. You can't fail to get it on 4th down and give your opponent down by 7 the ball at their 45-yard line.
Well, if Desmond Howard wants to be a star in this town,
it's a good time, right?
This is a good time. This is a good time. And you know, the great ones have that timing.
Yes, they do. If not now, when?
When?
If not Desmond, who?
Oh, almost a great play there by Houston to keep the ball in play. Odie Harris, number 27, struggling back there, trying to bat it back in.
A break in the action with 4:47 to play in this game as the NFL and NBC continues. Don Criggy with Beasley Reese. 4th quarter, Jacksonville, Florida. NFL opener for the Jaguars in this their expansion season. The Oilers on defense holding to a 10-3 lead. 1st and 10 for the Jaguars at their 20. Mark Brunell stands in, and man, the Houston Oilers come after him and hit him like a tackling dummy. Talk about running out of time. Hey, these ends of Houston, they are Henry Ford and Cook, and now Canavis McGee.
These guys are unbelievable.
They all got there at once.
Well, I agree with the style of offense that the Jaguars have gone to. They're spreading the for Brunell to run if he gets in trouble. Willie Jackson's in the game now. He had some big catches in the preseason.
Second and 18. Brunell stands in. Again, he runs out of time, and again, he's swept under. As the Oilers coming in an all-out pass rush, absolutely destroying the blocking, and they're doing it with a 4-man rush.
It's like
Childress was there.
It's like there's an impossible effort for the quarterback if the linemen don't do better than this. And watch Coach Coughlin. Oh, somebody's got to block.
Well, there's nothing fancy about this pass rush. You just got big guys teeing off.
No, four good rushes.
Childress in his 11th year looks as he's still busting through. Here's the throw and a catch. Tillman catches the ball on 3rd and a long yardage play, 3rd and 25. He gets it out to the 13-yard line.
See, poor Brunell here. Watch how he quickly sets and quickly turns because he knows he doesn't have much time. Now, that time he actually had the time, but, you know, the memory of the last 2 plays makes you rush. So he never really looked to vertically challenge the defense. He looked to get a quick, short completion.
Detroit Beasley has just kicked a field goal to tie the Steelers 20-all in the 4th quarter. Here's a punt downfield by Barker, who really booms it. Mel Gray backpedals to the 30. Look out for Mel Gray, but again, good special teams coverage by the Jaguars, and Mel Gray shut down at his 39-yard line. That's where Houston will go, 1st down and 10 with 2:49 to play. In 2 weeks, Mad About You moves to its new night. Must-see TV comes to NBC Sunday with Mad About You in 2 weeks, right here on NBC. And right now on NBC, the Houston Oilers holding to that 7-point advantage, 10-3. They led at the half, 7-0, goal to 10-0. Now it's 10-3. Here's the final score. New England has come from behind to beat Cleveland 17-14. Handoff to Gary Brown. Is fired in. Might be another face mask.
Penalty flag. Knocked out of bounds by Mike Dumas.
Might be against the Oilers for a face mask. Yeah,
really. Both guys have both face masks.
Can you top this? Who got the better face mask? 2:43 to go. As we now have referee Johnny Greer check it all out. Give us the official call. Some Jaguar fans, I don't know if they're conceding this or not, but they're starting to lead with 2:43 to play.
38 on the offense, face mask over here. Illegal use of hands over here. They're offset. The penalty on the offense is against 33 offense. The penalty's offset. Still 1st down.
Okay. Both guys did wrong.
Yep, and they'll do it over with 2:43 to play. Jeff Fisher looking on nervously. They talked about what do we have to go on. He said all we have to go on and looking at the Jaguars is 5 preseason games. As Jerry Rome said, I don't know how good our guys are, let alone how good they are. Harry Brown turns it up and out to the 44-yard line where Harry Colin stops him.
Harry Colin scampering well to get outside to maintain the outside position, a position he came very close to losing. Looked like for a second there that Garrett's going to be able to turn the corner.
Now they're trying to enliven the crowd as the refrain of shout booms through the speaker system at Jacksonville Memorial Stadium. 2 minutes to play in the game. Goes against the Bengals at Cincinnati. As right now we go to live action again, and Gary Brown runs the ball on 2nd down and 5, and he takes it close to the 49-yard line. Mike Dumas brings him down as the Oilers now content to run the clock as best they can. 1:47 to go, and it's ticking down. Jaguars down by 7, looking to get the ball back.
And you know what they're going to do. They are trying to run out the clock, so it'll be stop Gary Brown and our power offense. And they are doing it very well right now. Brown with over 100 yards on 28 carries. He's got 101 for the day. So Gary Brown back on that pace to be another top flight running back.
Fighting hard. Brown on 3rd and a yard. Works his way. Might have enough for the first down. We'll see what the spot is. There's the final in. The Patriots beat the Browns in a big game. San Francisco holds on to beat New Orleans at the Superdome. But it wasn't easy. Pittsburgh and Detroit looks like they could be heading to overtime. Now the Colts have come back to tie the Bengals with 3 seconds left. They're going to overtime. St. Louis with a lead over favored Green Bay. That's a big upset if that holds. Atlanta trailing early, comes back to lead Carolina 20-13 in the 4th quarter. And the final in from Philadelphia, an upset. Tampa Bay over the Eagles 21-6. It's 4th down. Well, if we're short, offense says we want to go for it, but you've got to punt the ball. With 1:08 to play, you can't give them if you miss it at midfield. They send out Camarillo.
So some disappointed offensive players jog to the sideline. But you're right, Don. You have to pin them back here and make them go the length of the field. They haven't been able to do it all day long. Take away that one long run by Brunell, and the offense has been expansionish today, so it's the right call.
Once again, Desmond Howard gets a return chance on a punt return, but Camarillo has been outstanding, as he so often is for the Houston Oilers, punting the ball. 1:02, just 62 seconds left on the clock as the finals are coming in now.
Well, Desmond Howard scored the first touchdown ever for the Jacksonville Jaguars versus Carolina on a punt return. So maybe he can allow a little history to repeat and run a real one back, and we can get real excited around here. He could be big around town. He got some great advice from Ernest Givens, his partner at the wide receiver position. Just put that Heisman Trophy up on the shelf, let it get some dust, and make some new plays. He also told him to come over the middle, make some catches over the middle. People will love and respect you, and Desmond has started to do that.
Right now, Desmond standing back at his 11-yard line. An all-out rush on Camarillo, hits the ball high. Howard comes up on it. Fair catches at 18-yard line.
You know, Camarillo is a great punter.
He is.
Now, he just sent that ball up in the air high. He opted for hang time against distance, giving his teammates time to get around Desmond, forcing him to fair catch the ball. And that's an unselfish punter and a great punter. And that's a big play. It's a big play that people miss.
Huge play. Hits him back inside their 20. Well, he could come to now, Beasley, as a fire drill offense. The school's outlook. Brunell's going to be, you can't stand in the pocket against this rush.
Well,
absolutely dominating.
Right. They got to bring another offensive line in, though, if they expect to hold those guys back. They haven't done it yet.
They're doing with a 4-man rush. They're keeping linebackers back in zone coverage. Darrell Lewis makes the pick and seals the victory. The intended receiver was Ernest Givens, as Darrell Lewis picks it off in front of.
These guys are two of the best corners I have ever seen play together.
They're good.
That's a hard, great throw. That's not a floating duck.
No,
that's a great read, a great play by Darrell Lewis as he steps in front and seals the victory. You know, we were saying when we were talking about Desmond, a star is going to step up and make a play. If you want to be a hero, you make a play at the right time. And here's the right play at the right time.
Jeff Fisher knows that puts the lid on.
He knows that does it.
A great second look. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Tommy Roy. The coordinating producer of NFL football, John Paratzis. Today's game was produced by Kevin Smolin, directed by Richard Klein, associate director Carol Larson. And we thank them all as more scores coming in now. Pittsburgh has defeated Detroit 23-20 on a Norm Johnson field goal.
Loss of 1.
So the Oilers and the Steelers will win the next Sunday's home game, home opener for the Oilers, undefeated.
Well, that'll be a great game, but once again, like I said earlier, Houston still has a lot of work to do. The defensive line performed magnificently.
Yeah, they've got a lot to look forward. They've got a lot to look forward to in those pass rushers on the outside. Anthony Cook, the rookie from South Carolina State, has produced some great players like Deacon Jones and Harry Carson, Barney Chavis. But that'll do it. So the Oilers come into the game they felt they absolutely had to win to save their season early as it is. And they do win 10-3 as coaches Fisher and Coughlin with the congratulatory handshake from Coughlin at Oval Stadium. For today, Houston gets off to a 1-0 start. The expansion Jaguars will head to Cincinnati 0-1. We'll be back in a moment.